Did you know Jeep made at least 3 very interesting looking pre-production prototypes before launching their all-new Jeep Gladiator to the world in 1962? Hey there, welcome to Wagon Works. In this week's Wagoneer Wednesday video, let's take a look at a few never-before-seen Gladiator prototypes from the late 1950s and early 1960s. At the time of making this video, I just came out of surgery from getting a kidney stone removed, which boy was that painful. So what better way to pass the healing time and ease the pain than to make a Jeep history video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment the word more down below if you'd like to see more videos just like this. Make sure you're subscribed. Alright, let's get into it. This first prototype I'd like to show you is pretty interesting looking and dates back to January of 1959, just 3 years shy of when Jeep launched their production-ready Jeep Gladiator. The first thing that caught my eye is this peculiar looking face that the truck has, proudly showing off its 11-slot grille and Willys letter badging right above that. I like the grill. It's kind of like a pre-Razor grill look, if you will. I like the integration of the 2 smaller lights, one on each side, right outside of that top center grill. The entire truck looks pretty production ready. The front bumper, hood, and the door all look very similar to what we ended up getting on the 62 Gladiator. Unfortunately, with this being the only picture of this prototype, I'm curious what the rear end of the truck looks like, if the tailgate reads Willys with the big W emblem badge that Willys had, or if it reads Jeep. A little side note, the Gladiator was launched in 1962, the Wagoneer was followed in 1963, and 1963 was also the year the company dropped their Willys name and became known as Kaiser Jeep Corporation. So anyways, before we get off topic, it's unclear how many of these prototypes were produced and if any survived. What do you think about this prototype? Comment your thoughts down below. This next prototype I'd like to show you dates back to January of 1961, dressing in a very production-ready manner. Up front, this truck wears a face that is almost identical to the production-ready 1962 Gladiator. I recognize that there are no lower turn signal lamps like the 62 Gladiator on this particular prototype. Those inner headlights look to be functional, which is pretty cool. I like that. The fender takes an interesting shape with the flares not coming down to meet the front bumper, so there's a little bit of a gap there or just some open space. Back to the fender, that shape is very odd. It doesn't go up very far as the hood wraps down and meets the fender, kind of at a low line there. And then it has an interesting shape. The fender goes up to the cowl and the corner and the back side of that hood and then the front door there. So overall that fender is just kind of weird to me, the overall shape. But the integrated wheel flare is pretty cool. Got a strong body line on that fender as well that goes all the way to the back of the vehicle to that Wagoneer looking taillight. I am really liking the body lines on this truck. And if you look down towards the end of the vehicle, that quarter area is straight off of a 63 Wagoneer, no doubt about that. Overall, I like it. I mean, what's not to like? This is the only picture of this specific prototype, so it's unclear how many of these prototypes were made and if any survived. What do you think about this prototype? This next prototype I'd like to show you here on screen is another one made around the same time as the last one, 1961. First looking at this prototype, I immediately thought this was the same prototype as the last one, until I noticed the fenders up front and the hood. The fender flares come up and around that front tire, making its way to the front of the truck where the bumper is mounted to. There aren't any gaps or spaces in between the flare and the bumper like that last prototype we looked at, and the hood isn't as wide as the last prototype, making the fenders wrap up and go to the edge of the hood, making the hood smaller as compared to the last prototype. The front bumper is very small and minimal and simple looking. The truck looks pretty production ready, and it sports a thrift side bed out back, which is pretty cool. And it comes with a flare too. Well, I like that. It's unclear how many prototypes were made and if any survived. What do you think about this prototype? I mean, what do you think about all these prototypes? I think they're all really cool. They're all production ready. I wonder why Jeep ended up not making any of these prototypes. Not to say that the 62 Gladiator wasn't a good looking truck, because it sure is a heck of a good looking truck. It's pretty cool to see the thought design process leading up to what we ended up getting. Let me hear all your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Make sure you check out my other Jeep prototype videos. I have an entire playlist dedicated to that. I'll link it down in the description below. Check those out and check this video here out next. Thanks a lot for watching.